What's up, all? I'm relying on you. I haven't done many of the Instagram lives, so please tell me that the sound is coming through. That would be the first thing to get straight, I suppose, is that you could actually hear me. What up, Ice? What's up, everybody? We sounding good? I can't do a backflip. I'm in a very creaky chair, so I'm trying to wiggle and squirm too much here. Sounds great. Rachel, how you doing? Fantastic. Yeah, you like that poster in the back? That was pretty cool. Infinity Ward sent me a poster commemorating Warzone. Echo 3-1's in there somewhere. Rocking it. Thanks for joining, everybody. We're gonna have a little chat with my friends at WingMan Magazine. It's been a few years, but they were kind enough to interview me and do a nice little photo shoot for me when Modern Warfare 2019 dropped a few years ago. So we're having a little chat on the Instagram live today. So I figured I'd go live a little bit earlier and say hello to people and thank you all for coming out. And then we'll connect with them here in about 3-4 minutes and do the old side-by-side, I guess. So how is everybody? Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. I see a lot of people chiming in from overseas. What up, John? How you doing, everybody? Mr. Reaper himself, how you doing? Oh yeah, we got some Toby's talking about Sniper Grid. We'll be talking about that today too. Some Modern Warfare 3, some Alex Keller, which just dropped last week. If you haven't picked it up, go pick it up and let me know what you think. The Sniper Grid came out at the end of September. A little show and tell on DVD too, on top of VOD and digital. So we'll be talking a little bit about the ongoing Sony Pictures Sniper franchise that I'm lucky to play Brandon Beckett in. I've got a new one out for you. It's pretty fun. Rachel's digging the campaign. Nice. I have yet to fire up the campaign. I have cheated a little bit and looked at some of the cinematics compiled on YouTube. I know what I filmed, but I haven't seen what my wonderful co-stars have filmed and how the story kind of came together. So I look forward to playing through it and earning those cut scenes the hard way, like the rest of y'all. Happy birthday, Elena. Thanks for coming on out. What do I do with my free time? Well, I stream Warzone. I play Call of Duty very poorly. As you can see behind me on my nerd shelf, I like to play a little D&D and other nerdy hobbies. Avid reader, deep thinker. I don't know. I have all sorts of hobbies. Most of them lean towards the nerdy and the sporty. Happy birthday to, who was that? Alex Winter, happy birthday. A lot of birthdays here already. Hold on. Let's view the requests. Here we go. WingMan Magazine. We're going live with them. Bear with me, I'm trying not to screw this up. What does that do? Hopefully something cool. There we go.
Chad.
Yo.
What's going on?
What up?
Well, we've been going back and forth and chatting for years. Obviously, we interviewed you. I think it's been like 3 years now at this point.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Go back to the Modern Warfare reboot. Last time we talked.
That.
Now here we are, Modern Warfare 3.
3, which is fantastic. I mean, obviously, I popped in a couple minutes ago, so I heard you talking. I already know this, that you haven't touched the campaign yet. So, which is very disappointing to hear, young man.
I was just telling the chat that I did cheat a little bit. I did go and watch some of the cinematic cutscenes compiled together because I just wanted to see how the story unfolded and what my wonderful co-stars got up to in this one. So I'm not totally in the dark.
Totally, yeah. I didn't finish it last night. I hopped on multiplayer for about 3 hours with some family members last night, so I did not finish the campaign yet. But
you're on the grind already.
Yeah. Well, we go back. My cousins and I go back to when MW1 came out for PS3. So it was we grinded hard. So when we go back, we don't even my cousins don't like playing Warzone. I'm not a fan of it that much myself.
Right.
I go back to the old. I prefer domination. I prefer there's some new ones that are interesting. Like there's the war part of it, which is a little different. So it's actually teams of 6 or 8, and you actually have to defend points a little differently. You have to escort a tank like you do kind of in Apex.
Okay.
Actually, and then you have to stop people from blowing up the missile silos. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's timed. So
yeah.
And then there's a new one, Cutthroat. It's 3 teams of 3, and it's so we played that for a little bit, and it's we got pissed off pretty quick. So
I'm not built for it, man. I'm not built for multiplayer. I do enjoy Warzone. I'm not built for that either, but I do try. We did try zombies. I tried zombies for the first time with some friends on stream the other night. That was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I haven't played zombies in years.
Yeah,
but I know everyone loves zombies. From what I've heard, it's not the same because it's a lot like it's what DMZ now, basically, right?
Yes, didn't play a lot of that either. So, but I know people dig that mode a lot.
Now, are you strictly PC or do you play console too?
PC. I got a dusty old Xbox One, I think it is, from way back in the day. I actually went through the campaign of our original Modern Warfare game on Xbox, but I'm a keyboard and mouse guy.
Keyboard and mouse.
Usually for worse.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Echo 3-1 needs to do something to keep himself occupied. I mean, that's for sure. So
when we're not trying to liberate Urzikstan, we got to have our hobbies.
That is correct. Yes, and for me, I mean, like I said, you and I have gone back a few years now. You are for what I consider the original CMC. Forget about Christian McCaffrey. You are the person that CMC. One thing I thought about when I first interviewed you was obviously Chad Michael was like the first part of like the name of another actor that was out at this meeting years ago, which is still out there, Chad Michael Murray.
Oh yeah.
And I kept and whenever I would think of you, it would pop in, and his name would be in my head. I'm like, that is not who I have interviewed. That is who I've talked to. Have you ever gotten like that, like mistake in the past?
I have. Funny story. Way back in the day, well before I became an actor, I was, I worked alongside a publicist. That's how I landed out here in LA, working in PR with the TV and film actors and stuff like that. We were in the New York City for the upfronts, which is where all the television networks do their big rollouts of their new fall shows and everything. It's a very big deal. And we were there for it was the WB back then, but now it's the CW network, and One Tree Hill was still going on. I remember exiting the back of wherever we were at the venue where they were making their announcements and wheeling out their stars for everything. And I had a bunch of like young teenage girls screaming, Chad Michael Murray all over the place. And I'm like, I don't even know how to play this, because clearly if they take a picture, they're going to realize that it's definitely not the Lucas character from One Tree Hill. So it was kind of funny, but now that I've kind of established myself as an actor in my own right, and not the only Chad Michael in town, there are some press interviews that they mistake me for, or it's a Chad Michael Murray, film news announcement, and then they pull up photo from me in a sniper movie and got to stick it in the article. So it is kind of funny, the crossover there when people don't do their homework.
Oh, I bet. And I mean, obviously you're now in the 7th sniper movie with G.R.I.T coming out, which we can finally actually talk about now that this strike is over. I know you're psyched about it because something that you mentioned like 3 weeks ago. You're like, I just want to talk about it now that I can. Right. So where's it going from here? What's going on with Beckett in this scenario?
Yes, but this, like you said, this is the 7th out of 10 total.
Okay.
Sony Sniper. Yeah, Sony Sniper franchise films. And for those that don't know, haven't seen it, it's a military action franchise. And I played Brandon Beckett, the son of Tom Berenger, classic, Oscar Emmy-winning actor. Originated the role of Thomas Beckett. I play his son. I originated this role like 10, 13 years ago at this point. And so Brandon Beckett is kind of a legendary sniper in his own right, following in his father's footsteps, but very much standing alone on his own 2 feet. So, I had a little show and tell earlier, but they just dropped the DVD. Sniper Grit, but it's been out in VOD since the end of September. So I haven't been able to really say much about it until last Wednesday, technically, when the embargo lifted on the actor strike being
thank God
kind of coming to a resolution. So yeah, it's out everywhere. It's out on DVD now, and you can pick up a copy. I've circulated some links to Amazon, but you know, it's fun. We shot this in Malta last fall, little island off the coast of Sicily, and very, very historic, beautiful little place to shoot a movie. And you know, we kind of have assembled a bit of a team across the last couple of movies, the Global Response and Intelligence Team, hence GRIT. Yep. And me, Brandon Beckett, Agent Zero, Lady Death, Intelligence Pete, and the Colonel. Dennis Haysbert is kind of the head of our little our unit. We take down a worldwide cult with its fingers in many, many evil pies, and so we kind of infiltrate the stronghold and kind of uncover some conspiracies and do our best to save the day.
Now, is the 10 including the original 3, or is there 3 after the 7? Okay, so that includes all that. So I mean, I remember seeing the original ones, and I mean, when I want to say I was like 10 or 11 when those came out, maybe even before at that point. So now, I mean, it resonates now more than ever with what's going on, and unfortunately our climate at this point of, you know, of what goes on. So what does it mean to you? I mean, obviously you're part of Call of Duty. I mean, you are embedded in that world. You're embedded with Sniper in the military world. What does it feel like for you to actually like represent them on screen one way or another?
Yeah, you know, and I'm sure we talked about this when we spoke a few years ago, but you know, I got into acting for the fun of it, you know, and it's a serious craft and a serious profession. And, you know, I walked in with no experience, and, you know, just a sense of kind of joy and wonder, you know, and growing up on G.I. Joes and growing up on action movies my whole life. And, you know, I remember watching the original Sniper on like TBS, you know, network, and, you know, the opening scene where Tom Berenger's in a ghillie suit and he kind of materializes out of like scrub brush. And there's a man, you know, in camouflage, and a helo comes down and extracts him and everything else. It's just kind of blown away, and always in awe and reverence of military vets and soldiers and stuff like that. And G.I. Joe growing up my favorite toy. So it's always been something that I've always wanted to do and approach with a sense of wonder and awe and fun. And, you know, I'm pretty lucky because I kind of get to play pretend soldiers across several different mediums. I played them on TV, of course, but you know, in film with the Sniper movies and video games with the Call of Duty franchise. So, you know, kind of set out what I came to do. And it's an honor, you know, it's an honor to represent people who are doing it for real. And I think that's why the Alex character in Modern Warfare is so special, you know, because he lost a leg in the line of duty. And I think that is representative of, you know, kind of a tragic subset of soldiers and what they really experience, and reminds us all of the real dangers of the courageous work that they do. So I love that Activision Infinity Ward kind of paid tribute to those service members who, you know, unfortunately did go through something like that. And Alex is still kind of fighting the good fight, you know, despite it all. And I just think it's a really great testament and service to the people who really have gone through that and experienced that.
I myself was not happy when we all thought Alex was dead at the end of the first, right? Like there was no doubt about it. Or you understood it too. Seeing him come back in 2 and in 3 now, especially, you know, I mean, obviously, you and I said it. The "yes, ma'am" comment that you say in 3 was so perfect. There was no doubt about when that came back. So I mean, you talked about G.I. Joe as a kid. Unfortunately, unfortunate for my wife, I've gotten into collecting the newer version of the G.I. Joes. Like, there's actually like a classified, which I've seen those. They're
unbelievable.
I have
Hasbro Pulse.
I have like 40 of them, give or take. Oh, dude. Yeah. So this is one of them. So she keeps asking me, why are there more packages showing up at the house? Whenever a new one comes out, I say, oh, I'm not going to get that one. I don't want to get it. And as soon as it comes pre-ordered, I will pre-order it almost immediately. So but you know what? You buy clothes, I'll spend $25 on a toy, and it can sit on the shelf or not sit on the shelf or sit on my desk next to me until I decide to, you know, get some kind of display for them. So
funny, man. I got to do a little show and tell. I just reached over here in my shelf in my office / nerd den, and I should really grow up one of these days.
Nice.
But, you know,
growing up's not fun.
You got Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, baby.
Yeah.
You know, the 2 ninjas, frenemies. But I love the Joes, man, and I don't blame you at all. I've seen, you know, advertisements for the Hasbro Pulse.
Oh yeah.
Things. I'm like, oh, these aren't the figures I grew up with in the '80s.
No.
These are beautiful.
No, these are. Actually, hold on.
Where the thumbs break off and. the elastic, you know, separates their torso from their upper.
So
they look much more solid.
So I have two different snake eyes ones. So this is one of the newer ones.
Oh,
so
wow.
This is the desert snake eyes.
Yeah.
So then there's, you go back to Storm Shadow, obviously.
Hey, there it is.
Original.
Yeah.
And then, oh wait, no, that's a different one. That's Cobra. That's a different one. That's, I mean, but they're like so like intricate. It's actually like crazy. But again, these are all, I mean, people keep the boxes and everything, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep the boxes because it's just taking up a whole lot more space, man. So, but I want to say I have 16 sitting next to me that I haven't put on a shelf yet, and I think I have like another 10 more coming. Yes, I am a little overzealous when it comes to them, but hey, you know, $25 here, $25 there, it's all good.
Listen,
so
I got a question for you. I'm flipping the script, man.
Yeah.
Who are your top 3 favorite Joes of all time?
Bazooka is one of them. Actually, I love Bazooka. Alpine's another one, and
nice.
I mean, Snake Eyes is obviously going to be.
Yeah,
it's almost everyone's favorite. If he's not, they're lying. Actually, another one is Gridiron, which was kind of from the 90s. Yeah. You remember him?
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I have a G.I. Joe encyclopedia sitting back here on this other shelf, but I gotta go. Beachhead, Shipwreck.
Beachhead's another favorite.
I mean, you gotta do Snake Eyes. I mean, leaving them out of the top 3 list is, you don't know what you're talking about.
Shockwave, remember him? He looked a lot like Beachhead, but he was more of like he
was the urban camo.
Blue. Exactly.
Yeah, I have him.
Yeah.
I still have all of my old Joes in a shoebox in my parents'.
I was gonna say if you still have that sealed, Shockwave is worth about $1,000.
No way.
Sealed. Oh yeah.
God, if we knew what we know now back then.
Kidding. I was pissed. My mother threw them away.
Right.
Oh yeah. No. God, I think we had our interview, probably before COVID, give or take. So since then, I actually, when COVID hit, got a little boring. So I actually wrote a comic book series. I wrote 4 issues of a comic book. I published 2. Actually, hold on.
Show and tell. Let's keep it going.
Hold on. I got one coming up. Let's make it a little easier. Hold on. So there's this. So I created a Dino Thrashers is what it's called. It's actually about like anamorphic dinosaurs from different galaxies come in and they actually end up on Earth fighting with another one. So let's see. The one that actually says Dino Thrashers on the cover is actually an homage to an old G.I. Joe cover.
Wow.
So, and then the one on the other side is actually the villains, which are known as the Pterosaurs. So,
no kidding. Dude, how fun is that?
So, I mean,
congratulations. I had no idea. How great.
Yeah, so I wrote, 2 issues got published. I still have 2 more that I haven't published yet because we haven't done the art for them. But it's, people got bored. Yeah. So, during COVID, you really couldn't do much, couldn't go anywhere. So it was, interview people. And at night, my wife, I'd be writing, and I'd have like 4 pages left, and she would tell me, go back downstairs and finish. Yeah. So it was actually kind of cool. I wrote 4 issues in a month. So well,
if it wasn't for the pandemic, I would have never picked up streaming Call of Duty, and or ever played Warzone. And I did a lot of fantasy book reading catch up. I read the entire 8-book Witcher series. I read all the Joe Abercrombie books. He's an unbelievable fantasy writer. All the Bernard Cornwell stuff I hadn't gotten to yet, but I think that's one of the coolest things that I hear, and the best feedback that I hear is that Modern Warfare 2019, the pandemic hit right off the back of that, and a lot of people still to this day say, hey, I just want to thank you and the other actors, and this game got us through. Yeah. To be able to stay connected remotely and online and really bond and have those experiences for all those months of uncertainty it's a very, very touching, sentiment, and an otherwise very, very troubling, difficult time in the world.
For sure. Because let's see, 2019, I just actually 2020, when it happened, 2019, I bought a house with my wife. We got married in March of that year, then bought a house 3 months later, which was not planned. We talked 3 years later, and we come back from our honeymoon, and she's like, hey, I want to sell our other house and buy a new one. I was like, okay, when? She's like, oh, now. I was like, are you shitting me right now? Really? You want to do this? 6 weeks later, we were moving into our new home. Wow. So, it was, you had to basically, we looked at 12 houses in a week. And we're at the point now, and it was my wife is pretpretty hardcore about buying a house at that point for sure.
Yeah. You got more wall space for your comics, man. It's great.
They people that own the house before us converted this 3-season porch kind of like a little bit, and all I had was storm windows. So we put all regular windows and sealed it off. And this was her office, and then I took it over. And you know, I wish there wasn't so many windows so I could hang more things on the wall, but that's all right. I have a man cave downstairs for jerseys too, so that was kind of the deal. She gets her own little office somewhere else, and I get a man cave downstairs. Yeah. That was the deal. Fantastic. So, but yeah, it's, you know, pandemic changed everything for everyone, right? Sure. And then obviously as of recently, I mean, the strike changed a lot of things for you guys, right? I mean, couldn't talk about anything. You guys were, you know, what, 100 and some odd days without a contract. How did that affect you? I'm not just going to say not monetarily, but, you know, mentally. Like, how did that affect, like, you working and everything too, right?
Yeah, you know, and for those that are not in a loop, and maybe some of the international fans joining us today, there was about a 6-month-long industry, you know, work stoppage and a strike as the writers went on strike against the studios. The actors union went on strike against the studios as well. So it was kind of a joint effort. The writers resolved in October, and we just recently resolved last week. Mm-hmm. So we're all looking forward to getting back to work. But, you know, it's a tough time. You know, it's 6 months without work for these reasons, you know, and unfortunately what we do in TV and film is such a collaborative industry. You know, mm-hmm. There's so many moving parts. There's so many wonderful crew that help us put movies together. You know, I feel like writers and actors are just a very small part of a huge machine to get a production off the ground and executed. So unfortunately, there was a lot of trickle down suffering, you know, as a result, not just the writers and the actors, but, you know, crew and everybody else involved in filmmaking. So I think everyone's breathed a sigh of relief that we're all getting back to work here very, very soon. So it was a very challenging year. I was very fortunate, more than other actors. The video games were not a part of, you know, struck work. That was strictly TV and film mostly. Mm-hmm. So SAG has a different agreement with the video game companies. Interactive falls under a different jurisdiction. So I was allowed to work on Call of Duty, you know, on and off throughout the year. Some more Warzone cinematics. Obviously, I was part of the ongoing raid DLC content, which wrapped up a lot of our original Modern Warfare 2019 storylines with Farah's brother Hadir, mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Hadir. So that was really cool to be a part of. And then, of course, filming some scenes for Modern Warfare 3, which I'll try not to spoil, but I think most people have already played through it now about 2 weeks later.
Played a good amount, yeah. It's like the shortest one they've had, right? And I mean, it's been catching a lot of flack due to the length of it, but also it seems like they were just kind of. It seemed like, from what everyone's been talking about, is, you know, they kind of mailed it in a little bit. I still think, you know what, Call of Duty is Call of Duty, no matter what. 1, people are going to play it. 2, people are either going to love it or hate it. There's not really an in between, right? I mean, they're either going to bitch about it or love it, and it's been around 20 years. It's not going. It's like Madden, but mm-hmm. I mean, I play both, so I can't say anything bad about either. But Call of Duty has gotten, like you said, it's gotten a lot of people through a lot of things. And has anyone come up to you and said what your character, whether it be from one of your shows or from Call of Duty, has meant to them? Like, was any military members or anything like that have come up to you and said anything like that to you, or during one of your streams?
Yeah, you know. That entire crowd has been very, very, very kind with their words, you know. Mm-hmm. And what I found over the years is, you know, making these sniper films, or, you know, being in a video game like Call of Duty, is that you know, current and former, you know, servicemen and women, they love to play it and they love to watch these things. So, you know, there's a responsibility that I take to try to get things right and represent them well. But they really do appreciate being represented in that way. And the amount of people in the military who love to play Call of Duty blows mm-hmm. your mind, you know, and they've been very, very kind, very, very flattering with their comments. And, you know, they really appreciate when they're represented well. And that's something that we all kind of try to take seriously on our end, the best that we can. You know, we're, at the end of the day, we're playing pretend, so we're not going to get everything right. Yeah. But at the same time, we all endeavor to do our best and represent them well. And it's very cool. And I try to always carve out time to work with them, work with certain charities, game with them and squad with them, and try to take care of them with a video or a picture here and there. And mm-hmm. It's very cool. I've made a lot of really great friends playing Warzone and streaming on Twitch. And many people are, you know, former military, and they're fantastic. And, You know, I always find that, you know, you hear the stories of what they live through, and it just blows your mind, you know, and really makes you grateful that you can kind of represent them well in a pretend setting, because, you know, not everyone has what it takes to do what they do in real life.
I'm certainly one of them that cannot do what they do, or as much as we all wanted to as a kid, there was no way. But I do have a lot of friends, a lot of family that have been in the military. One of them actually, like we've been friends since we were 4 years old, so going on almost 40 years at this point. And he spent 20 years in the military. He unfortunately suffers from PTSD, and when we went on a trip to Dominican, I want to say like 3 years ago, even just driving through some of the areas down there, like almost set him off when he was in Kosovo, and he actually had to like hide his head and everything like that, and it had to be. It's you know it's tough for them, and I think
Absolutely.
play like watching you guys do it, whether it's on TV, movies, or playing you guys or in the game or whatever. I think it is an outlet for them to, you know, break free of that a little bit and see that it's okay, right? It's not. It's just pretend for what they want to do, and it gets them out of adult driving. So
Absolutely. You know, and I've been very fortunate, even, you know, doing conventions and appearances and stuff like that, to have a lot of, you know, be able to connect with people, you know, in real life, in real time, to hear their stories and to lend an ear. And they're always very flattering with their comments, and always big fans of these things that we're putting out there too. So it's really great, man. And I'm, you know, it's not lost on me at all. So, you know, hopefully we get the chance to keep doing it, and I can keep representing them well across Sniper 47 and Modern Warfare 29.
yeah, but either one of those are going to end, and you know what?
Yeah.
Well, as long as they keep putting you in it, I don't see them stop anytime soon.
Well, that's actually,
so I mean,
you know, look, as an actor, to be able to come back and revisit a role is a special kind of blessing in an otherwise tough industry. So, you know, I mean, look, I'm not always told things in advance, you know, like for example, at the end of Modern Warfare 2019, when Alex, you know, goes kablooey in the factory, like I had no idea. I thought that was the end of the road. You know, obviously there was no body, so there's always a possibility that somehow he miraculously could have survived, but I was not told. You know, I got a call very many months later after release, you know, priming, you know, warming up for, you know, this kind of, what is it, Modern Warfare, like Warzone. I think that was like season 2 or season 3, and they called me up to do like some promo shoots and some videos for it, and I was like, oh shit, I'm alive. They're like, yeah, you're alive. You lost a leg, we're going to give you a prosthetic to kind of represent all that sort of stuff. And so it was a surprise to me, but I was in the dark. I was like, what a ride, what a one-off. But luckily, you know, Modern Warfare 3, Alex is still alive and kicking, and you know, hopefully that kind of continues throughout the thing. That's the best you can kind of hope for as an actor.
Well, hopefully Alex goes on to 4 if there is one. I mean, we don't know what happens yet, obviously. So is there, I mean, obviously, were there other games? Are there other games that you actually Twitch, or is it strictly just Warzone? Are there?
I've dabbled a little bit here and there. You know, I've done a little like Magic the Gathering tutorials to their online app, because I've always been a huge Magic the Gathering card game nerd, going back to my high school days. We did try to put together a Dungeons and Dragons stream and live stream. That was a technical disaster, very difficult to pull off with schedules and everything else. But I've streamed some old school Contra from Nintendo.
Nice.
I streamed a little Warcraft, just to give people kind of a taste of that, because I played Warcraft on and off for like 12, 13 years. And I'm trying to think of it. You know, I dipped into like retro Diablo, like the original Diablo.
Nice.
And I did a couple of streams, you know, playing that and showing people what that classic was all about. But mostly stick to Warzone and stuff like that. I'd like to be able to expand, you know, my kind of reach with the games that I like to play. But you know, Warzone's really fun. It's easy to jump in, connect with some friends, get some matches in, and kind of log off and watch the shenanigans unfold.
Now, is there any game that you don't play on it that you play on your own? I know you just have an Xbox One. Are there any other ones that you strictly just play by yourself?
I love to go back into, you know, I got an NES Classic and a Super Nintendo Classic, you know, the minis, you know, right behind me. So every once in a while, I'll fire up one of those things and play some, you know, Double Dragon 2 and revisit some of the Mario games that I love, you know, Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh, this right here. This is the cover for Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for Super Nintendo, which is one of my all-time favorite RPGs. So I'll fire that up every few years and kind of play through that again. You know, but other than that, I downloaded Baldur's Gate 3, but I haven't been able to put many hours into it just because of time. But I'm a huge D&D fan, and Baldur's Gate is. But I played the original Baldur's Gate games back in like the end of the 90s, early 2000s,
Sure.
and I just love those. So turn-based, you know, strategy games. So hopefully I'll do a stream with some BG3. I know a lot of streamers out there are playing. A lot of my friends are. They're just loving it. So I'll get the itch, but I got to be aware the times suck. Because once you start with these games,
that is hard. That is very hard to avoid. Before I was married, I would play Call of Duty with my cousins till 3, 4 in the morning. Like now they're like, "Oh, you're hopping up at 11:30 at night." I'm like, "I'm in bed." Like, no, like I got other stuff to do in the morning. Like I'm not. But last night they asked at like 10. I'm like, "Sure, I'll play a few games." 1 o'clock rolls around. It's like, "Oh shit, okay, time for bed." So
I did put a couple of months into World of Warcraft Classic because they kind of took things back to the original.
Sure.
And that's kind of where I started playing Warcraft, the first few expansions that they rolled out. And I was hooked on and off for Warcraft for years. So I did spend a couple of months kind of leveling up and playing some Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, which is my all-time favorite Warcraft expansion. I'm like, I can't say no to this. Like, I got to walk down memory lane. Like, so many good memories of playing that iteration of Warcraft. So that was a fun ride for a few months.
Is there any genre of game you will not play because you think this is just not me?
I mean, the horror games. I don't know how people do this. I see streamers playing horror games, and I'm like, they can't. I mean,
you poop yourself. You know, it's a little scary.
I would wet my pants every time. Like the Resident Evil games and the jump scares. I'm like, yeah, this is not. I'm not built for this. I'd rather play multiplayer. I'd rather play Shipment on Call of Duty. That nonsense than suffer through a Resident Evil game all the way through. I don't know how people do
Shipment's
it.
so
Hats
bad.
off.
Yeah, they're
all due respect.
Yeah, they've changed some of the maps now too. So Shipment is not. I mean, Shipment was never fun to start with, but it's even worse. Karachi is a little bigger now than it was in the original MW2. So, but it's. I mean, we played for a while last night. It's fun. I mean, I never get sick of it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much time do you really want to invest into it.
Right.
If I want to talk old school, I'm going TMNT from the original Nintendo. If I really want to piss myself off, I will go and play the Nintendo. Oh
my god.
Turtle
Swimming underwater in the seaweed.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, one of the best Nintendo games ever. Very hard. I beat it without any cheat codes or the Game Genie. I was very good at Nintendo back in the day as a kid. So that's one game that I beat. The key is you have to save Donatello and Leonardo for the end in the Terror Dome and Shredder because they have the longest reach with their weapons. So you kind of sacrifice Raphael and Michelangelo because they don't the nunchucks and the size don't reach very far. So you
too close quarters at that point.
So it's probably the only iteration of Ninja Turtles where Donatello is actually a rock star. It's kind of probably the least favorite otherwise, whether it's cartoons or comics or anything else.
Even the live action ones. I mean, the original Turtles movie is still one of my favorites, and I will still watch it if I see that on TV.
And on VHS still. Buried up in the attic next to my mice chewed G.I. Joes.
Nice. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Don't let them get too ruined. You know, but finding a VHS player now might be a little difficult. That could be a little hard, but it's all right. Do you see any? I mean, obviously you'll take on the work if it comes to you, right? So, is there more games that you want to work on? Or is there any game series or any TV series that you would die to be part of? Yeah.
No. It's a great question. You know, and I certainly have my favorites. You know, but as an actor, it's like every yes is a miracle. You know, and every yes is an incredible opportunity. And there's some things you might say no for just specific personal, professional reasons. But you know, I'm a huge fan. Like I just went back and watched Justified on FX City Prime. I love that show. You know, I've been very grateful to work on some great TV shows, mostly on CBS. The NCISs and the CSIs, the Blue Bloods of the world. But I love it, man. And I think that's what's great about being an actor is every role is different. Every role is unique. Every, different show versus different movie is a chance to kind of sink your teeth into something new, and variety is a spice of life, as they say. And I mean, look, bucket list stuff is fantasy medieval. You know, I love that. I love watching those shows. I just finished The Witcher season 3. just because I read the books. Game of Thrones, same thing. Read all the books, so I love shows like that. So that's bucket list stuff. I'm a huge knight nerd. Fantasy medieval stuff has always kind of been my jam. Going back to the first time I read The Hobbit and old D&D novels. So that sort of stuff for me is always going to be bucket list. But I'm perfectly content playing pretend soldier in sniper movies, video games. So I mean, every single acting, yes, is a total gift in an otherwise tough industry. So I don't discriminate. Even if I have my favorites, it's they're always a welcome gift and a blessing.
Yeah. Well, I tried watching The Witcher. I got it. I couldn't even get through the first episode. I was like, is it all like this? Is it all like I was not interested. I lost interest really quick. But everyone said just get through the first episode. It's a little slow, and the rest is great. But again, I never read the books. I played Witcher 3, I think, but I only put.
Oh yeah.
But I never beat the game. That's one thing for me is RPGs have never been games that I want to grind through for weeks before I can actually get there. My least favorite game ever is Skyrim, and I will never play that game.
That's a tough game, man. I tried that on console, and I'm like, I get that people love this, but I'm like, I can't even hit anyone with my sword. Yep. I'm getting absolutely handled by level 1 guards. You're right. Yep. So it's, but I'm the reverse, man. I grew up playing RPGs, Final Fantasy, Zelda. That's something that always kind of spoke to my heart. I rarely ever played first-person shooter outside, side scrollers like Metal Gear or Contra and stuff like that. So I've never played a lot of first-person shooters. Call of Duty was really a chance to dip my toe into the water, what all the cool kids did. And, it's fun. It's a different skill set, man. And but I get what you're saying. It's nice to log in, get a good hour of shoot 'em ups, and then
be done, right? So, I mean, I never really considered Zelda to be an RPG. I mean, it is, but I would never look at that being an RPG. Obviously, Final Fantasy is no matter what. I think for NES, there was a cartoon that I loved, which is King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, which I don't know if you remember that show at all. No, it was basically like this football team that got brought back in time after Arthur and his knights disappeared, and they took over for them. They had all their armor had all special powers or whatever. Well, they made a game out of it. It was strictly RPG, and I think I played it on an emulator 2 years ago, and I got so frustrated. I have never rage quit. I have never rage smashed the controller until that day when I was ready to, and I was like, you know what? It's not worth smashing it. Let's just get past it. Let's just turn the game off. It's a little safer for everyone at this point. But it's sports games have always been a thing for me. I mean, but you look at the shoot 'em up games. I mean, Metal Gear. I mean, they just they just put out the redone versions of Metal Gear Solid for the new systems. I can't wait to pick that up. But those were the games that kicked ass when PS1 and PS2 came out.
Right.
Those were awesome. So
yeah, I kind of peaked at Super Nintendo back in the day, and then got my first PC for college. That's when the original Baldur's Gate, OG Diablo, even OG Grand Theft Auto with the top down view.
Oh yeah.
View. It was very crude using your space bar and directional arrows on your keyboard, but I love that, man. So ever since I kind of went PC, I never went back. But PCs are so much more geared towards the fantasy RPG and the graphics.
Oh, for sure.
And stuff like that. So I've had consoles, your PlayStation 2 and the last couple iterations of Xbox, but I always just prefer to do it the PC way.
Yeah. My gaming PC, my gaming laptop is literally holding up my iPad as we speak. So it's right here in front of me. Mainly for editing, photos or whatever. I do have some games on there, but I do also have a Steam Deck. So which is sitting next to me as well. Usually it's in bed. I have set it up to stream right to my PS5 and my Xbox too. So if I wanted to just do that when the wife's watching TV or whatever, that's easy enough too. Right. So, but PC games weren't always my thing. But if I look back at, arcade games were always where I lived. So Sunset Riders was always a fun one for me, and they also turned that into, I think SNES was another iteration of that game, which people look at this isn't fun. I'm like, we are a cowboy, and you're shooting up things. It's fun. It's just like Cadillac dinosaurs and all the other stuff. Side scrollers. Oh yeah, it's who was it? A friend of mine just told me I will never play a side scroller game. Like, why? I get because the graphics suck. I'm like, really? Because the new Mario game is a side scroller and it doesn't suck at all. So
at all.
No.
I remember those days, man. I never got much allowance as a kid. So, you know, when you were lucky enough to get $1 from your parents to go to the mall, like you needed to figure out how to make
you gotta stretch that dollar as much
2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, and luckily I was pretty good and picked up games pretty fast. And I used to be able to beat the Double Dragon coin-op arcade game on a quarter.
Really?
You just got to be patient, man. Yep. Bobos take 16 drop kicks to kill. You just have to buy your time, one drop kick at a time, and make that 25 cents last, man. And that was, and I really got into like Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2 when they dropped, because what's cool is a quarter can take you a long way, because if you're playing against other people, you know, if they put a quarter up, I got next, I got winner, I got next. And so if you're any good at those games, like you can make a quarter last a good hour just taking down fools at the mall, you know, with Ken and some shoryukens and Hadoukens. So it was, I do miss the arcade. I go to an arcade now and I'm like, this just speaks to the Gen Xer in me. And I'm like, what is this? It's like Las Vegas, like just lights and bling and Dance Revolution and, you know, motorcycle games where you sit on a motorcycle and it's like $1.50 to play. And I'm like, where is
that's
the retro arcades
right?
the best?
I mean, there are pinball games that are now like $2.50, $3 every. I'm like, I'm sorry, what happened to like the 50 cents for like a max, right? So I'm up in New Hampshire. So actually about half an hour from us is Wares Beach, and there is one of the biggest arcades in the U.S. It's called Fun World. Not Fun World. I forget what it's called anyway. Doesn't matter. And all the games max out at 50 cents. There's nothing more. And it's all the old ones. There are no new ones. And I mean, I think I went there with some friends, and I think we each, like, this was recent, not like years ago. We each went with like $20. I think we all left still with like $15 left. To not like spend more, but it's because you go to the new ones like Boston, like Dave and Buster's or whatever. It is like $1.50 or $3 or whatever.
No, these retro arcade games are the best, man. And there's a bunch obviously in LA, and I've been to almost all of them. But you know, to be able to just pump a quarter at a time into a game, like as a kid, I couldn't afford to beat the X-Men game, 6-player X-Men game. I couldn't afford to beat the Simpsons game or the 4-person co-op Ninja Turtles game. Yeah. But now it's like no object. Like, what's this going to cost me? $10, $12, no matter how terrible I am. I'm like, as an adult, you can kind of see these games through in the way that you couldn't as a kid, because those games were impossible to beat.
Correct.
Now beat a whole roll in there.
I mean, it is like, you know, $8 to beat like the Turtles game, right? Yes, so
easily.
If you're by yourself, it's about $8. Oh, X-Men, there's whether it's the 2, 4, or 6-player, it is about $10 to $12 for that game.
More the merrier for sure, but
yes, please come join me. Let's beat this a little faster. Captain America and the Avengers is another one just like that too, and obviously Simpsons. I mean, I've looked into having like, which my wife has vetoed, I want to say at least a dozen times, having having my own arcade built for the house, just like an arcade machine that has like, because people build them, and she's like, how big do you want it? I'm like, let me show you, and we'll go to like go somewhere that has like a 4-player. She's like, where's that gonna go? I'm like, in your office that you don't use anymore. Right. So I think that's a good place for it, because it's not getting up the stairs, I'll tell you that much. So, but it's been vetoed more times than I can.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
no doubt.
Maybe eventually, but who knows? That's all right though. It's now I don't have $1 here and there. Now I actually have money.
Right. Good investment. It's a good investment. Save you money in the long run, right?
It will. Have the niece and nephew over or whatever, friends over. I don't have to go anywhere else. It's okay. It's a good time. It's a good time. So I have one more question for you, buddy, and then I gotta get going. But I mean, obviously, what can people? I mean, Sniper Grit is, it's another iteration of this series. Do we see 1 or 2 more coming out of it? Do we see? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you will obviously hop right back in for Brandon Beckett. There's no doubt about it, right? So, do you want to see any kind of end to it, or do you want to see him grow old and just like his father did, and see what happens from there?
Yeah, I always make the joke that I'll do these movies as long as they'll have me, up until age 70, when I can pass the long gun on to the next, young buck, the generational talent kind of thing. So hopefully we keep going that way, and they keep making more. We've made, I think 2010, Sniper Reloaded was when they took a shot on me and Brandon Beckett and as an experiment to see where it went. But you know, we've done 7 since, and hopefully we keep doing many more. It's always above my pay grade, and I'm always happy to get those calls when they're ready to do another one, and I'm always ready and eager and willing to do them. But so far so good. You know, we released a movie called Sniper Rogue Mission last year, and I think that we were blown away because we released last August. So it had a great US run out of the gates, and a lot of people watched it and seemed to enjoy it. And then it went to Netflix, you know, by that December, and we broke the top 10 list, the most watched movies, and stayed there on Netflix for about 9 days, you know, and we're just kind of the lower budget action movie that could. And I think that just surprised the heck out of everyone, especially after already having released the movie. It wasn't a Netflix original. So, you know, we have the same kind of expectations for this one, and hopefully for everyone after that. And, you know, hopefully it's a good sign that people want us to keep making more and they'll keep showing up for them. And if that's the case, I don't see why we'd stop. But if, it's not up to me. Have gun, have passport, we'll travel. And I suppose let me know.
Now, you talk one last conversation before I jump out to start cooking dinner for my wife, my dog, and my mother eventually when she shows up. So now, I mean, you talk about working with charities. Have you, I think you and I talked about it. There actually is a bunch of groups that do playing video games for charity. And there's one called Extra Life that I've worked with.
Oh, yeah.
And, have you done any of that? Have you thought about doing that? I mean, because I do really, actually, that is a grind of 24 hours of gaming to raise as much money as you can. And I know for Extra Life, it's for children's hospitals. I'm sure there is something like that for the military. Would that be something that you would hop into? No questions.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I believe I have. I think I might be wrong because it was a few years ago, but IGN did a whole Extra Life charity stream. So I came on there and, you know, and for a couple of hours, and they just, like you said, they had a 24-hour rotation of people and talent, all playing to kind of raise money for stuff like this. But I've worked with OSD, Operation Supply Drop, which puts video games in consoles in the hands of deployed, you know, service members. As well, and just any time that I can. There's a great organization called Save the Brave, where those guys are all big Call of Duty fans and everything else too, where I've made some appearances and tried to connect with some of those groups. But I'm always open to it, you know. I think it's an actual honor and a privilege to be able to do stuff like that, you know. With all honesty, I should do more, and there's probably more out there that I'm even aware of. So if you're watching this, let me know how Echo 3-1 can serve.
Well, I think this something that you and I should put together where we form a team for the next Extra Life or whatever. I mean, they do it all year round, but I know they run like a regular weekend, the same weekend every year. Yeah. So, but if that's something that we can put together, I'm sure we will get some.
Oh my gosh, I'd be so happy to do it, man. And let's talk offline and see what we can put together.
Oh, I'm sure we can. Yeah, I will. I mean, obviously, you know how to reach me, and I know how to reach you. It's pretty simple, one way or another, right? Yeah. So. It's but we will reconvene for sure. And thanks for hopping on, Chad. Obviously, you know, we talked about it for a while. I'm glad to see you happy and back in work. And obviously, Echo 3-1 is back on the prowl for whatever happens next.
Always a pleasure, guys. And for those here, thank you for tuning in. Check out WingMan Magazine. More great interviews like this. They do it all the time. Really great people. And happy to get number 2 in the books for you.
Thanks, brother. We'll talk soon.
All right. You take care now. Bye-bye. All right. I think it's back to just me. What's going on, everyone? I couldn't catch everyone as the little tiny usernames were streaming past, but I figured I'd take a few minutes here and chat with you all and try to check out who's here. So, everybody, thanks for coming by. I appreciate you. I see some familiar names and faces in here from the Twitch streams and social media pals. Wicked Ghoul, Rachel Madam, hello. Ghost Skullmask, Terramore, what's up? Air Strife, hello. Angel, how you doing, Rita? Good to see you. Neem, hello. I'm getting a bunch of requests to join me. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to hold off on those for now. Thanks for sending them. Nadia writes, Tiana, Jacob, I missed someone there. Autumn, hello. Carolyn Pacheco, Diedrich Tan, Crybaby Skeleton, Gonig, Reaper. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on out. Miss Pat's fan, how you doing? Philip Gordon, what's going on? There's John. Get some sleep over there, you UK night owls. Appreciate you stopping by before the bed bugs bite. Teddy Bush, what's going on? Instagram was messing around with the sound the whole time. I don't know what that means. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. And that it all went okay. Hello from New Zealand. Hello to you, Kiwi. Kim, hello. Do I want to be in The Witcher? I'd love to be in The Witcher. They got a fantastic group of talented actors on that show. I love the book series, and I really like the show. And what's always interesting to me is that being an actor, I see and watch shows and movies very differently than other people. I'm way less of a critic because I know how difficult it is to to do these things and to pull it off. But Henry Cavill is amazing. You can tell he puts a lot of work into embodying that role, especially with the training and the swordplay business. But I'm always very impressed with the cast of some of these things. I think that fantasy medieval acting is probably some of the hardest that you can do. And so it always blows me away to see them bring those characters to life, so to speak. Jessiel, what's going on? Geralt. Geralt's a great character. The White Wolf. Have you seen Seventh Son? I don't know that I have. I think I've heard of it, though. Jose Fam, Menden. It's really hard to read these damn tiny print usernames as they fly by. But I will try to get everything. Miss Cat, how you doing? Anastace, how are you? Good to see everyone. Thanks for coming out. But Tizzy Proudly, thank you. An honor to play Alex Keller. He has a last name as of the raid that came out this past year. Alex Keller, Echo 3-1. What up, Venom Zeke? Tim Schoen, how you doing? His given name. What's going on? I just wrapped up an interview with WingMan Magazine. Go check them out. WingMan Mag. We did a nice interview and photo shoot when I was doing a little press for the Modern Warfare 2019 release a few years ago. Great to connect with them again. Check them out, follow them. They do great interviews with other entertainers as well. We were talking about Sniper Grit. I can say something now as of last Wednesday, but it's been out since September 26th. It's our latest sniper film. And yeah, the gang's kind of back. The gang is back. We've got Ryan Robbins playing Agent Zero again. Dennis Haysbert is playing the Colonel. Josh Brenner's back as Intelligence Pete, bringing all his hilarity as he does. And Luna Fujimoto is our new Lady Death, and she did a bang-up job fighting the people. If you know, you know. She has some really incredible fight scenes in this movie, and it's a lot of fun with a lot of laughs too. Thanks to Oliver Thompson and our geniuses over at Sony Pictures for letting us make another fun one. So, but between that and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which I'm sure many of you have picked up and played, I can say that Alex Keller is in the game. I won't give away too much about what and where and when and how and in what capacity, but Alex Keller is in Modern Warfare 3, so it's nice to be able to promote that and spread the love for Call of Duty, which is the game through which I met so many of you wonderful people and got connected through y'all and here and Twitch and everything else too. So yes, I can say that I am as far as right-hand man. I'm the new Hadir, but with better intentions. Rest in peace, Hadir. Collecting the Alex skins from the Battle Pass vault. Rock and roll. Yeah, it was nice to see the skins will cross over. I think you're talking about Call of Duty Mobile, but it's nice to see that the Warzone skins will go over to Modern Warfare 3, so I can kind of hold on to the Alex skins that I've been collecting all this past year. Jacob Amundsen, how was it working with Brian? I love Brian Bloom. Brian's awesome. He's kind of the what Dave Filoni is to the Star Wars universe. It seems that Brian Bloom is to the Call of Duty universe. And there couldn't be a more talented and awesome captain at the helm there. And I'll never forget Brian Bloom. I was just telling this story today. I had coffee with my buddy Martin Copping who's Lucas Riggs in Call of Duty Vanguard and many other video games. We caught up for a little coffee today. He had done a Call of Duty audition, and he was sharing a story of showing up in the room and performing for a role. And I was sharing my experience when I auditioned for Alex back in Modern Warfare 2019, and I read with Brian Bloom, in the room. He was reading against me, with the 3 or 4 scenes that they gave me to prepare. And it was cool because a video game audition is not like a regular television and film audition where you're much more static, and it's much more about this. In a video game audition, they want to see you moving around because the motion capture element of things. They want to see, are you familiar with tactical movement, holding a gun, being able to do the certain action as you deliver dialogue. So it's a much more dynamic sort of audition. And I remember this audition with Brian, and he was like, "Is it cool if if we get physical?" The scene, it was basically the scene, if people remember from the campaign, where I first meet Farah, and I'm kind of Captain Price kind of warns me to drop his name or they're going to drop me with a bullet. And so I meet Farah for the first time. I meet Hadir for the first time. They kind of sit me down in a room. They forcefully put me down in a chair to kind of talk with to Farah to hopefully earn her good graces and be of service to help her cause set by Captain Price. And Brian acted it out with me, and he kind of sat my ass forcefully down in a chair and kind of dragged me in, roughly around the shoulder. I'm like, this is great. But Brian's an awesome dude, and that was a fantastic audition experience. And we really leaned into the characters and the gritty realism of it. And apparently I did enough in that audition that I got a call a couple of months later, to play Alex on this mystery project that I didn't know what was. So Brian Blue's awesome. I've been working with him all throughout the raid stuff, the seasonal content stuff, the Warzone Season 5 trailer that I did with Farah and Graves, Claudia, and Warren Cole, who's rad, by the way. And, of course, the Modern Warfare 3 scenes, always working with Brian Bloom and his compatriots at Infinity Ward every day. And, I have nothing but fantastic things to say about all of them. Very talented people, very cool people, very kind and gracious people. So if they're on the socials, make sure to give them a follow. They good peeps, the IW peeps. Yeah, and Brian's a super talented guy in his own right. He's been doing high-level voice acting work forever. He was a very established, successful actor, on camera as well, all throughout. So he's been in this industry a long time and has earned his reputation. Hope to bring back Verdansk. That'd be cool. Fond memories. Fond memories of the Verdansk, for sure. So let me know in the chat. Has anybody played all the way through the campaign? Yeah, I'd love to hear what your experiences have been like. Like I mentioned in the interview, I haven't had a chance to play all the way through. I'm actually probably going to play through the campaign offline, and that way it'll be a little bit easier for me to kind of share anecdotes of my filming experiences and, working with other actors and stuff like that too. And I can kind of immerse myself in the experience of playing the story and then post them up to YouTube or something. But hopefully people seem to be enjoying it. I'm really digging some of the cinematics that I've seen that I didn't film, and just seeing the great work that all the other cast kind of put into it. Oh, cool. Ghost Skullmask. You played all 3 of them in order to kind of do the stories. That's really, really cool. Yeah. Get fresh. Only accidentally got Alex killed once. That's impressive. I'm gonna do recruit mode. I make no bones about that. I'm no hero. I don't need no veteran unlocks. I'm not built for it. So it's more about the story unfolding for me than it is trying to unlock things and kind of be the hero on that. Hey, thank you, Malikai Adams. Thanks for the Alex love. Appreciate you. We tried zombies the other night. That was really fun. I enjoyed that. What's your favorite Modern Warfare and why? Well, I did play the original Modern Warfare trilogy back in the day. I was, always a single player campaign, Call of Duty fan, and great stories. Great experience playing those, but I'm very biased. I think my favorite Call of Duty is Modern Warfare 2019 for all reasons. All obvious biased reasons. It was just a great acting experience all around with awesome people. Who else we got here? First mission, you don't know how much I wanted to end a character. Well, no spoilers. Yeah. I think there was you know, I don't want to say too much, but that first mission was that's a pretty cool twist. You know, you're going to extract someone from a prison, and you're like, oh, you're kind of playing for the other team. Whoops a daisy. Getting these requests to have people join me, but I respectfully decline. I'm just here chatting with people. I already did my joint interview for today. So, Skazita, Scarlett, how you doing? Thanks for that badge. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm experimenting with this subscribers things on Instagram, which seems to be a cool deal. And I tried to get some exclusive Instagram content up there as well. And we'll be trying to do more of that. So there are subscriptions available. And many of you are already very kind and generous and support me on Twitch, and I appreciate that too. So, but yeah, it's thanks for that, Scarlett. Appreciate you. Carolyn is speaking in Portuguese, I believe, from Brazil. I don't know what that says, but I'm sure it's nice. Thank you. Fingers crossed for a co-stream again with Jake. Yeah, Jake Stormone, my old buddy from a TV show we did called Extinct. We had a good time streaming back quite a few months ago now, so I'm sure we'll hit each other up. And he said he bought the game and then he really enjoyed playing the campaign and everything too. So I'm sure me and Jake will find our way back in the warzone together and soon. Oh, almost out of water. Well, yeah, for those who aren't, maybe I do try to stream at least once, a couple times a week. This is our little Alex's Army. Really great community over on Twitch, twitch.tv/ChadMichaelCollins. Come on by. We like to stream some Warzone, mostly like Resurgence, and drop into the Warzone for a couple hours at a time with some good friends. And every once in a while, you know, I play with some other Call of Duty operators as well. That's kind of a fun little thing, a little collab. So come on by. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, even though I'm not very good. There are lots of laughs. Too many laughs. Mostly at my expense, which is totally fine. But I completely depend on people who are good at the game to give me pointers, tips, the meta guns in the loadout, so I can, you know, on a good night, be an average player. I got no other Comic Cons on the book. I got no other conventions on the book, unfortunately. I mean, I was supposed to go to South Africa with Martin Copping, the South Africa Comic Con, but duty called, and a film that was delayed because of the strike came back online. I just got done filming that in Las Vegas, so I had to unfortunately cancel out of the South Africa Comic Con trip. But Martin and Jeff Teravainen had a great time over there, and wonderful people, and seemed to have a blast. So I got nothing else on the books, nothing else on the schedule as of now, but always enjoy doing them. And so hopefully to 2024, we'll have some opportunities to do some appearances at a convention near you. Oh, I tweaked my back in the gym. It's a little shifty. It's making my chair squeak. Do I have a favorite Star Wars movie? I enjoyed a lot of the later and the newer ones. Well, I really like Rogue One for some reason. That one really stood out to me. That was very, very interesting. But yeah, the original movies, the original three are always going to be my favorite jam for all obvious reasons. Can you say hi, Maddie? Maybe? Maddie. Hello, Maddie. Thanks for stopping by. Favorite Call of Duty character next to your own? Woo! Far's a badass, obviously. So, you know, Far is good. I don't know. Call of Duty has such great characters. You know, Captain Price. I think Barry Slaughter just absolutely smashes it as Captain Price. And it was an absolute joy to work with him. So it's hard to argue with the captain, but, you know, Ghost is so iconic as well. So I can understand why he's one of the favorite characters out there. Nikolai is a hoot. If you haven't played the campaign yet, I won't say much about it, but the Nikolai character is so great. Stefan the actor is. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's Kapcic. Kapcic. I think that's it. But super talented actor. He also, I think he did Colossus in the Deadpool movies, and he just did a bang up job for that as well. Super talented actor. Brazilian movie about World War II. I'm all ears. I love it. I love it. Are you good at shooting guns in real life? I mean, that's debatable. It depends on what your standards are, but I'm no stranger to it, and I kind of grew up around that my whole life. So, luckily in movies, we don't actually have to be very accurate because of movie magic. So, probably a much better shooter in movies than I am in real life. Heavy Metal Yuri, yeah. That is it. Hello, Tegan. Hello, everyone else who's joining. Kelly Ray Galt, hello. Ward, Sophia, hello. It was like working with Luna. She was so badass in the fight scenes. Yeah, Rachel, great question. Do you, she's talking about Sniper Grit and Our Lady Death on this one, Luna Fujimoto, who did some amazing hand-to-hand action sequences and fight scenes, especially the one at the end was a real banger. It's basically Lady Death versus like 12 people. And it goes on forever. She did great. She's very hardworking and very eager and fit right in well with us and rolled up her sleeves and got gritty with the rest of us. So nothing but great things to say. And go follow the rest of the Sniper Grit cast. Great people. Ryan Robbins plays Agent Zero. Luna is on Instagram as well. Luna Fujimoto. Dennis Haysbert is active as well. I don't think Josh Brenner, Intelligence Pete's, does the social media so much, but yeah, really, really great, talented actors. We had a blast over in Malta last year. Tegan loved the campaign, thought it was incredible. That's very cool. I did. I sneaked some peeks at the cinematics. YouTube's wonderful that way, but also, spoiler alert, is very cool. You know, and what people don't know is that oftentimes you get your material that you're going to film maybe a day or two in advance on a project that's is NDA protected as a Call of Duty. You know, there's rarely a full script, so you don't know how the whole story's going to unfold. You don't always know what the other scenes are that are being shot or what the other actors are doing. So a lot of times when this stuff drops, it's as much of a surprise to me as it is to you all, which is really cool. So I've been sneaking a couple of peeks at some of the cinematics that my co-star shot, and always impressed. Yeah, but I hope to fire up the campaign myself very, very, very soon. Yeah, I get this a lot. Apparently, I just learned about this recently, that there's a hashtag called FarAlex. For better or worse. And so, you know, I mean, look, what you see on screen is that professional relationship, you know. Alex is Far's right hand and first in command. So, you know, I don't think you're going to find any sort of love story, romance in a Call of Duty Modern Warfare universe game. So, sorry to disappoint, but I see plenty of people out there filling in the gaps with their fan fiction and speculation, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. But it's a very interesting hashtag to come across as far Alex. What else? There's some really cool art. Yeah, the artwork out there is incredible. Not just Alex and Farah, but so many great artists out there putting cool things out about all the Call of Duty characters. So, yeah, Tegan, thank you. Yeah, I am on Cameo, and always happy to do personalized videos about anything that you want. So check me out on Cameo. It's cameo.com. Chad Michael Collins. Tegan here was kind enough to order one up, and it's really a nice opportunity for me to send some love and appreciation to you all and celebrate you in those ways. Do you watch edits of Alex TikTok that I get tagged in? I'm not really active on the TikTok, perhaps because I'm an old old goat. But I do have a TikTok. I don't really get on there very much, and I don't always see the tags and stuff over there. But I do see some of them shared with me and everything. They're very creative and they're very cool. And it's always flattering to see that Alex resonates with people enough that people would edit videos of him. It still kind of blows my mind. What else? We'll probably wrap it up here soon. More water calls, bathroom calls, and I wanted to take this last 10-15 minutes to kind of chat with y'all. I haven't played Uncharted. I heard it's incredible. It's tough to make time for video games because once you start, you can never stop. So I have to be conscious of doing that and being a productive human being, living the real life, as fun as it is. Reznov meets Alex. How will go down? I don't know who Reznov is. I'm liking it. I'm liking Alex's chances though. Maybe he has no chance. I'm not sure. Miss Faye, almost missed you. Have you read any books recently? Joe Abercrombie came out with a book of short stories based on his characters, on some of his fantasy series books. If you haven't read Joe Abercrombie's stuff, it's absolutely incredible. I can't believe they haven't developed his stuff into a series yet. The First Law trilogy and all these other things are absolutely incredible. But I just read that. I'm finally reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F because I discovered Mark Manson's YouTube channel. And this is kind of a self-help, anti-establishment self-help classic that came out, bestseller from years ago. So I'm cracking that up because I really love his style. He's like self-help without all the pretentious self-help BS. So it's really very entertaining to watch his videos and his personal development stuff, which is very counterculture and it's very punk rock, is what I'll say. So I'm reading that currently right now. 1 a.m. Get those Z's. Raiders still hoping for the Raiders to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, that'd be great. But I mean, look, they're 5-5 right now. I'm happy with that. So, you know, as usual, they got another season full of turnover and turmoil. I am playing Baldur's Gate 3. I've dabbled just to try to get down the mechanics and see what it's all about. I created a barbarian just because they're a pretty straightforward class to play, but yeah, it's cool. From the 3 or 4 hours that I put into it, I'm like, oh, I understand why this game is so popular and knocking it out of the park. It's a beautiful game and really captures a lot of the D&D essence that I kind of love, playing D&D independently of video games. So I'm really digging it. I really hope to put some hours into it and unfold that story. How long does it take for you to do a cameo? Maybe buy one for you. I think if you send me a requested cameo, it's like a 7-day thing. I try to get to them early. Sometimes they get buried. But if I catch it right away, I usually try to do it right away. Alex appearing in Modern Warfare 3 was a surprise. It was amazing to see you after Modern Warfare 1. Thanks very much. It was very cool. It was nice to be back. I know Modern Warfare 2 had a very different storyline direction to the point where, you know, Alex was off doing other things. So to see him kind of reunited with everybody and back in Modern Warfare 3 was very cool. No one was more excited than me. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up here, people. But yeah, anybody who wants a cameo, check me out, cameo.com/ChadMichaelCollins. Doing subscriptions on IG and trying to be better about that. No, I love to share a lot of Stoic philosophy and Abraham Hicks quotes and stuff that's kind of, you know, more of like encouragement, inspiration type of things, as well as some, you know, personal looks and BTS stuff and whatever else here and there, whatever, trying to be better about that. But always appreciate your support. You know, obviously it's been a bit of a slow year for all of us actors because of the strike and everything. So all the support is much appreciated. And you know, thanks for buying the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I hope you're all digging it. And you know, if you haven't, check out Sniper Grit. The show and tell is wonderful. Really proud of it. A lot of fun. A lot of great action and also a lot of fun ha-has as well. So it's a pure popcorn movie that I think you'll all dig. So I'd love to hear what you thought if you go and check it out and pick it up. So, all right. appreciate you all. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and hopefully we'll do more of these or YouTube Live. I'll probably get some of the Sniper Grit gang together for a YouTube Live here soon, like we did for the last movie. Talk to the director Oliver Thompson, and maybe round up Ryan Robbins and Luna Fujimoto herself, and answer some questions and answer your questions and share some fun stories from our time on set as well. So stay tuned for that and many other things. And we'll see you on Twitch sometime, hopefully soon. All right, everybody, take care.